So this is a video I've been meaning to do for a while. It's actually based on an article that was written by my colleague Jane, and it's a fantastic article. Got a lot of great comments, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to turn this into a video. So I'm going to read a bit of the article out and then offer my opinion on it as well. Now, if you're waiting for the weekly update video, what I've done is I've moved those to Sundays now. So we're going to have last Sunday I didn't do one because obviously it'd only been a few days. So next Sunday will be the first Sunday weekly update video, which is number 13 already. But it just gives us a bit more time to prepare the video at the end of the week and over the weekend and get it out for Sunday. During the week it's always a bit of a rush, and I'm also having to do it at home. I decided, you know what, just move it on to the Sunday, and then it gives us a bit more time on Saturday to prepare and get the video out there. All right. During the week, clients come first as well, so you know we love getting these videos out. I'm actually sat now waiting for my son to finish at a party, so I thought, you know, great, after hours, great time to do a video. But during the week, as I say, it's clients first, then videos. So what are we doing here? So relocating to Spain from the UK, top tips and what to pack and what to leave behind. All right, you might get a few angles from this. You might enjoy this quite a lot because it made me think when I read this article written by Jane. So one question we get asked a lot in Upsticks when helping clients with the visa residency process for relocation to Spain is what should they or shouldn't pack for their new home in the sun. And this is very crucial. We've seen a lot of general advice from people, which is just bring your passport, you can get everything here. Such is true now in Spain. Spain has come leaps and bounds both on the new and second hand front, so there's a lot of shops. The prices of things have gone down, and that's why people used to bring things. I can always remember famously my my wife's grandmother used to bring a kettle on holiday. Not that quite that desperate, we do have kettles here, but and you can get tea bags, you know, so you don't have to bring any of that now with you. Jane first goes on to point out, number one, think about your accommodation first. So if you've bought your own home, and then you'll probably know exactly what you need to bring in terms of fixtures, furniture and fittings. But what about the familiar items you have around the home? Well, my favourite armchair might take up too much space. Will your wall art or ornaments make you smile? Will they look wildly out of place in a Spanish home? Now, this is true. So she goes on to say, only you know the answer to that, but it is nice to have familiar items around you. And this is correct. What she's saying is, it's nice to have stuff which is familiar, especially if you're leaving family behind. So there's stuff, it's definitely nice to have stuff which makes you feel, or you've bought from home, which you may have had for a long time, so it's familiar, because it's a huge upheaval moving to Spain. But I would say limit that to things which are more sentimental rather than objects which which really aren't going to bring any sort of value to the place where you live. And also, as Jane goes on to mention there, will it look out of place in a Spanish home? They're completely different to probably what you know in the UK, and also there's different environments in the house. It might have more humidity, it might be drier, you don't know. So how will that item react to the new environmental circumstances it's going to be in? What you got to do, if you remember, if you're going to rent instead, then remember that many rentals have issues with many rentals are already furnished, and you may have to be more ruthless. This is true. A lot of rentals are furnished, and a lot of some of the most awful furniture in the world as well. It's that really horrible sort of 80s sort of fake wood stuff all the time, but they're often crammed, and it is true the Spanish do like to cram their furniture in. Myself, I'm a bit of a minimalist, if I could say it. I love to have less. I think less is more. I like an open space, and I've been into some places which are just crammed. You know, you open the door, there's a wardrobe there and a bed that barely fits in. Sometimes it can be awful. So when you are going to rent accommodation, it might be for a temporary period, and there might be stuff you want to bring across, but make sure that you've got somewhere to store that stuff, because while you're in your rental, you might not have anywhere to put it. Okay. Bringing those little knickknacks that make the house from home is probably even more essential in a rental. Choose them carefully. Yeah, you know, again, if you're in a rental surrounded by someone else's furniture, you're going to want things that remind you of home. Number 2, the geography. Are you in the north of Spain where the clear seasons, snow and winter, rainy spring and toasty summer? Are you down south where there's summer fiercely hot and winter surprisingly chilly? Research the climate in your area and plan to live and bring furniture to suit. This such is true as well. We don't have carpets here particularly. I don't know right in the north of Spain, Asturias, they may have up there, but definitely we don't have carpets. So you know, if you've got furniture which wouldn't suit the hot weather, which you're never actually going to sit in, then it's probably worth not bringing it. Now we're in April the 16th and it's absolutely roasted at the moment. The temperatures have soared. You know, it's like summer. It's just giving us a quick reminder of how it's going to get in summer now, and we're only in April. The further south you go, the more time you'll spend outdoors and bring bring your patio set and barbecue. If they don't suit, you can always get them on platforms like Wallapop, local Facebook buy and sell groups. This is true. Now, you might be very fond of your barbecue, and there's some very expensive barbecues out there which may be expensive to replace. Here, personally, I'm just a fan of Al Natural. It's wood or carbon. Coals for me. I don't have any fancy gas barbecue. I don't believe in it. I think it's not the correct way to barbecue, and I openly think that gas barbecues are rubbish. Sorry, gas barbecuers, I am sorry. I have this argument with my friends all the time. They try and convince me with the Venny mobs, the shutdown thing, the smoker and everything. No, over here we have olive wood and we have oak, coal. Just, you know, and to be honest with you, unless you're really in love with your very expensive barbecue, don't bring it over, because the coal barbecues you can buy here quite cheap, or even make them. You can make them. I actually made one in my house in Granada and it was fantastic. I just bought the grill and that was it. Big space to have your fire pit, move it over to the grill when you've got your coals, cook on that. And gas, no. Anyway, I'd love to hear your opinion about gas. Convince me I'm wrong. No one else has so far. Went a bit off piece there, didn't we? But yeah, seriously speaking, patio furniture and stuff, you know, it can actually be quite expensive here. That's one thing that I'm going to say, it can. And every time we go back to the UK, we go back to shops and we see like patio furniture and stuff and think, wow, that was quite cheap. And when does anybody ever use it? It's always raining. No, that's a terrible thing to say, but you know, it seems a lot cheaper. Over here it can be slightly more expensive. So if you have got nice patio furniture and you are bringing a container with stuff, it might be something that you want to think about bringing with you. Note about the best: unless you have an heirloom handcrafted by an ancestor, you have a bespoke or have a bespoke orthopedic mattress that costs a month's salary, leave your beds behind. If you're in a rental and you don't want to sleep on a mattress, you can buy a topper. Be careful of the sizing when buying bed linen. Yes, especially pillows and pillowcases. And 100% cotton is a good investment as it works for winter and summer. And actually 100% cotton is quite hard to get here. I think don't know how expensive it is, but yeah, definitely check that out, because cotton is a good investment when you've got bed linen, because there's nothing worse than those cheap bed things that make you sweat if they've got polyester in them. The same for the towels. You get these lovely towels and you go to dry yourself, it doesn't dry you because it's made of polyester. Number 3, dress code, what to wear. A general rule: bring your best, leave the rest. This is true. We have fantastic clothes shops here now in Spain. We have everything that you need. Now, clothes generally could be a little bit cheaper in the UK, but they have gone down. I'm reliably informed. I hate clothes shopping. As you see, I only wear my Upsticks tops, and my poor wife Lara suffers incredibly to get me to wear anything nice. So I couldn't tell you what the clothes market is like out there. Again, let us know if you come here on the video, or give us a shout on one of my weekly updates to see what your experience is with that. But I do know we have now an awful lot of outlet shops. We have Primark, you know, got everything from Primark to outlets which sell very expensive brands. And I'm informed by my wife that clothes have come down quite a bit in Spain. So if you've got good clothes that you want to keep, yeah, definitely bring them. But you know, you pack of 5 t-shirts from Asda, you're probably better off just getting them here, to be honest. That said, I did buy a few last time I went home and brought them back with me. That's about as far as I go when it comes to fashion, black t-shirts. Note 4, white goods, gadgets and technology. Special note about the voltage. Spain and Europe uses 220 and 240 volt, 50 hertz. The voltage in the US, for example, is 110 volts, 60 hertz. So you need to use a transformer converter for US appliances. So if you're coming from the US, take note of that. Whether you're coming from the UK, be able to check your be sure to check that the items you're planning to take with you will work in Spain. My advice would be, don't bring any white items. The price has just plummeted here. It's great, you know. Before, you know, our first flat screen TV I bought with Lara was like having a mortgage. I can tell you, back in 2010, I think it was 2011. It was, I had to go to the shop and sign all sorts of papers, put it on the Never Never over 24 months, and it was like, oh, it was a big purchase and very expensive. Now, 65-inch flat screen TVs. We got one for less than 600 euros. I think it was an offer. The LCD BA or whatever they call it, with a remote control, which my son would probably be able to tell you more about it. I know that it works for the Formula One, so that's great, and that's all that matters really. But yeah, they're cheap. They're so cheap. Spain has now fallen in line with its white goods. Plus, if you're in big cities like Malaga, for example, we actually have the damaged goods places now. So we bought a dryer from one of these places which has like damaged goods. They might have a scratch down the side, but work perfectly. And this dryer actually came with a UK plug. When they delivered it, it had a UK plug, and they bought an adapter. I was like, wow, where'd you get your stuff from? He was like, oh, from all over. And it was half the price. It really was than the dryer would have cost in the shop. Jane informs me that Corte Inglés, when they have their deals, is actually really good. Everybody considers Corte Inglés to be quite expensive, but I know that she shopped there for white goods and got some good deals. So I wouldn't bring any white goods with you at all. And don't forget, we've also got Amazon here for things like air fryers, and we just recently bought a steamer that we needed, and it was the same price here in Spain. Well, I think we needed it. I don't know why, but steamers apparently are good things to have to clean cars and stuff when children are spilling stuff all over it. Also kills bed bugs apparently. But when we did the comparison with the steamer in the UK, it's exactly the same price. So, you know, and that was Amazon, and it's sat here now. Technology, the single most important thing you can bring to Spain with you is all-in-one. Oh, this is true. The single most important thing you can bring to Spain with you is an all-in-one printer, scanner and copier with spare toner cartridges and paper. You'll need hard copies for all kinds of documents, and being able to scan and print your own will save you loads of hassle. This is true. You need a scanner. Now, whether it's the single most important thing, there's a lot of Jane's humour coming out there. But she's right. Now you can tell Jane works in stage 2, because she's the one that's always like, I need a decent scan of this document, and people send in, you know, photos of blurred with fingers in it. And it is true, you always need copies of stuff, and we always need scans when you're doing documents. So you need to have a printer from day one, have it there. So when you're going through all the paperwork, it doesn't matter what you're doing, you've got access to hit that button and print something out and do a scan to Upsticks if needed, because if not, we're going to go back to you and go, oh, can't you do a better one? And a lot of people say, well, I can use my photo to scan, but you can't print, you know, out of a phone. So a printer is essential. That's what we think, and that's from our experience to do the paperwork. Android, not Apple. Sorry, iPhone fans, but Spain is geared to Android, not iOS, and this applies to all kinds of public administrations like healthcare, vehicle traffic, etc. It's true, Spain is well geared up for Google, and Android doesn't seem, this is our experience with clients' feedback, to be that geared up for Apple. So if you're an Apple user and you come to Spain, again, please share your experience with us, but we found that Android phones seem, and the apps seem to work a lot better here in Spain. Entertainment, don't bother shipping your TV. I've already been through this. Places like MediaMarkt, Carrefour and Corte Inglés, they definitely have great offers on. Your Alexa will work in Spain, but you need repeaters if you're in an old house with thick walls and ceramic floors. This is true. Okay, so don't forget that plaster, these very rarely do we have plaster walls. It's all big thick brick walls in the older houses, and you might find that you need to have repeaters for your Wi-Fi connection. White goods and kitchens, I've already gone through that. Be careful with the double wide American sized fridges. It's rare to get a big kitchen in Spain and they end up in the other room. This is true. Kitchens here seem so tiny. Is it because we spend time outside? The only kitchens I've seen here which are big are the ones which have been designed by people moving here. The kitchens which are designed by people who build houses here are tiny. I don't know why. My old house, it was like a long kitchen, and then it was there. We had the kitchen on the right, and then it was like a long kitchen where no one could really stand next to you, but it was long, you know. And then the living room was the wall, opposing wall. That was just like, why did they just even put the wall there? Why don't they just build a island and have it as a huge open room? Again, I'm a minimalist, so I prefer the wall not to be there, and the kitchen spell might annoy people watching the TV, but to me it just made two crazy tiny rooms rather than one big one. It was crazy. If you're moving to a rental, then you'll get what you're given, which is true. If your landlord will let you replace some kit of your own items, yeah, make sure it's all written down in the contract and stuff. The one thing about, I'm going a bit off piece now with this, is when you do go to a rental, just make sure the terms and conditions of the contract are clearly stated and that you know what you are doing, because and what you need to give back at the end. So if you can go into a rental and you suddenly throw out a bed, you know, you could find that you lose your deposit. If you're keen cook or baker, then bring as much of your kit as you like. These saucepans and with handles are hard to find, no idea why. Amazon might, I don't know, as are deep roasting pans. Yes, they are. I can't find a deep roasting pan, but there are some top quality frying pans available in and Spanish planchas or flat grill, which are fantastic for meat and fish. And in the winter months, you can actually get these electric grills, which are quite good for indoors. Number 5, the first 3 months. If you're moving on to the holiday home you've owned for years and you know the local area well, it will take time to settle in and find your way around. So it's a good idea to have a couple of bits and pieces, boxes of things you can't do without. This is true. Open first suitcase. Oh, here we go. So Jane goes on to say, open first box suitcase. Think about what you would take on a fortnight self-catering holiday and put it in there. Clothes, washing bag, travel plugs, chargers, basic condiments, tea, coffee, travel kettle, etc. Don't know if I agree with that. But then, yeah, if you are just coming and you're going to your holiday home, you're going to be moving on, maybe it's a good idea just to have those really, you know, quick to hand items while you're getting settled in. Ask your doctor for the first 3 months supply of regular medication. This is very important. You will need to bring your medication with you. Don't forget that while you're getting in the private healthcare system here, if you've got private healthcare, it's going to take time. You've got to go and get your prescriptions, and if you're on an S1, you can't finalize the registration of the S1. Check the video out for S1s on this channel, and that is after you've had your appointment to register the visa, and that can all take time, so make sure you've got plenty of medicine with you. What else we got here? Documents. Jane goes on to talk about multivitamins, etc., antihistamines. Yeah, look, it's good to have them on hand, but we do have good pharmacies here. In fact, we seem to have an awful lot of pharmacies. Funniest pharmacy I ever saw was open 365 24 hours apart from the December 25th and the 1st of January, which obviously isn't 365 days then, is it? Documents. Well, documents should all be kept with you. Have a complete file, hard copies hard copies of them stored in a safe place. You can also upload these to cloud storage facilities. This is true. You need to have everything on cloud storage and make sure you have a safe place to put your original documents. Be so careful with your passport, because if you lose your passport before you register your visa, that is a nightmare. We have been there. Last thing, rules and regulations. There are rules about what you can and can't bring when moving to Spain. Here are some useful articles. Check the article below. There's a great article about agents from Agent Spain, one from Food EC Europe and one from Globe Link. So there we go, just a bit of fun from an article that was written. I thought I'd turn it into a video. Relocating to Spain from the UK, top tips of what to pack and what to leave behind. Don't forget to check out our weekly video coming out now this Sunday, a weekly update, and we've got some more shorts and another video coming out soon about driving around Malaga. There's all sorts going on. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like the channel, and hit the bell thingy.